Jose.
What?
Do moving bodies of water curve?
Are you swallowing your microphone? First, pull it out of your throat a little bit. It's too deep inside your throat.
Do moving bodies of water curve?
Yes.
Hey Merle, I got a question for you. Are there any examples on this earth where energy is not being put into the water, like in the ocean?
Keep going.
Oh, you're not going to answer that question? Why not?
I'm happy to answer your question. I just would like a little bit more meat to chew on.
You asked me. I asked you a yes. I thought it was a yes or no question. What you were asking me.
You're fine, Jose. I just noticed it in the chat, and I was like, it's an interesting one, like the standing body of water, right?
You know what? Yeah, in that point, I never seen a big body of water. I seen a cup, maybe in a pool, you can call, maybe in a small lake, you can call that it will be a still body of water, but bigger than a smaller lake. Every single body of water is always moving. There's always energy on it. There's always movement. So I don't know when some flat earthers talk about when water are still or at rest, because it's never in a bigger body of water, never at rest.
That's my exact point and why I asked him, can you show me an ocean that doesn't ever have energy being put into it? I wanted Merle to understand what energy meant in that context, and I don't think he does. Merle, in physics, energy is when there is transfer of heat to from one place to another.
I want to hear Merl. Yeah, if Merl can tell you if there's a body of water that could be a rest existing in Earth, I would like to see it and entertain it, because if not, you will be talking make believe and thought experiments and fantasy when there's not a big body of water at rest that we can find on Earth.
How big do you need it to be?
The ocean.
Bigger than a small lake, than a few miles around, that could be surrounded maybe by mountains or trees, that there's going to be no wind or nothing, and it's going to be at rest. Other than that, bigger than that, bigger. Yeah.
Let's talk about the Atlantic or Pacific Ocean.
Mm-hmm.
Show me a place on the Atlantic or Pacific Ocean where energy isn't being put into the ocean.
I can't show you that, Chris. The energy is being put in the ocean. I'm not disputing that.
Do you dispute that rest in physics means there is no energy being put into whatever that is?
Yeah, that's a good explanation and description. It's very accurate.
Okay, so when you guys say a body of water at rest finds and seeks its level, does an ocean ever find and seek its level?
Well, I think the big...
Well, backtrack now.
No. I think the big misunderstanding is we have sea level. It's most people's understanding.
The answer would be no.
That's a reference point to know your altitude, not saying that the sea finds and seeks its level.
Would you accept that a lot of people have a misunderstanding about what sea level is and what the ocean is actually doing?
Yes, I would. And I had a misunderstanding about waves. And so I looked it up and I learned that when particles of air go across the ocean, it causes the water to move and form into waves. I mean, there's more factors than just that. But
sure.
That's basic.
And your point is, Lale?
That an ocean is never at rest, therefore it is never level. And therefore,
who has ever said an ocean is at rest?
Yeah, who has ever said that?
Well,
name that person.
Wait.
No, don't say you guys. No.
They're gonna start referencing you, Lale. Yeah, it's a lot of
finds and seeks its level. And you guys don't like the fact that energy, right? Isn't the ocean water?
Yeah, but not undisturbed body of water. Leo, you're missing that.
Yeah, but flat
No,
earthers.
I've never. You guys just started that. When I first came into this, the argument was water always seeks and finds its level.
It is seeking its level. Even an ocean is just disturbed by wind and current and tides. But it's
Yeah,
always,
as it does that, it
if you take
continually
that
seeks its
away,
level.
it would
Yes,
level
Leo.
out.
Which part of that
Yeah,
don't you
it-
It's
understand?
not though. It's not.
Yes,
So
it is.
the ocean is
Yes,
not
it
at
is.
level.
Yes,
No, it's not.
It's trying to be.
While the
It
wind
is
is
definitely
blowing,
trying to
while
be.
everything is
Put into
going
it,
on,
and it's not
water
at rest.
always tries to find its level, Leo. Always.
You know, even on your model, Leo, that it's trying to be.
But
Even on
but-
your model, Leo, it's trying to
but
be.
when energy is put into a object like the ocean or anything, it is not at rest. So therefore, the ocean itself cannot seek and find its level by
It can
logic.
There you
try
go.
to. It can try to.
It's a reification fallacy. You're trying to assert a flat planar water when that you admit that it cannot exist in reality.
No, you're trying to realize your fantasy ball surrounded by water spinning
I'm not
by
even
trying to
talking
tell
about
us
whether
that there's
the earth is
tides
clear or not.
and there's wind on the ocean. Lale, you should
I-
write a book, bro.
I'm not even saying whether the earth, what shape the earth is. I'm just saying a body of water like the ocean never is at rest. It always has energy being put into it. Therefore, it can't seek
You
and
should have
find
been
its level.
around, Lale. Lale, you should have been around while they were building the pyramids and told them, listen, guys, don't use water levels. You're going to fuck it up.
Way to hand wave away what I'm saying.
So anything, yeah,
It's-
it's in Montreal. Hand wave, that's it. He's got a fair and really valid point. Most of the flat earthers that I hear, oh, but bodies of water of rest are level and flat and horizontal. Show me a big body of water at rest.
Show me
Yeah, you're right,
any
Jose.
part
No
of the
one's
Pacific
disagreeing
or
with you,
Atlantic
Jose. You're
Ocean
absolutely
that doesn't
right.
have energy
There's
being
no
put
such
into
thing as a big body of water at rest. No one's disagreeing with that. Nobody ever disagreed with that, Jose.
That's not
But
true.
then
People
why
have.
are you saying the oceans are level then? They're not.
We say
By
water
definition.
seeks its level. Listen to what we say.
What about the
Water
ocean?
seeks its level, so much so that they use it for a water level.
What about the ocean though? Like the Pacific, Atlantic, Asiatic, any other ocean?
Lale, are you a broken record, bro? Are you going to keep saying the same thing over and over?
Yes.
You are.
Yeah.
Yes, you are.
Montreal, the issue is when you say water finds its level, then we start showing you droplets of water and cascades and people, splashing water and throwing water guns. You say, no, I'm not talking about that kind of water. I'm talking about at rest. Dude, it always goes that way, and you know it.
Exactly.
So what's your point?
Show me
What's
a
your
body
point?
of water like an ocean that's at rest. Go.
We just told you there is no such thing as an ocean at rest. But
Perfect.
Welcome to the globe. Welcome to the globe.
Let me
I'm gonna show you curving water. I'm gonna show you. We can show him curved water, like droplets of water and stuff like that. Yeah,
That's water tension,
That's
Jose. That's water tension.
That's the evidence. That's the evidence for curvature of water.
Wow, you sound desperate, man.
that is desperado. Yeah, seriously, Jose. Come on.
Breaking in and your voice inflection is just desperate.
Dictates that the ocean itself is never
Oh,
at
diva.
rest. Therefore,
The
it can't
diva,
find its level.
the diva Rakifa wanted to chime in with his narration, like colorful
Just my
commenting.
opinion.
Jose, it's not
Just
like
what
you,
you're
man.
doing
Why
now,
are you
you
on
sound desperate.
Rakia's case like that? It's not like you
He's
to do that.
desperate.
Aww.
Creating content. We're just all characters to Jose, so he can create content.
Aww.
Listen to him.
Ah,
Look, all you gotta do is show us some water on a ball spinning, and we'll believe you, Jose.
what if we have done that?
We have done that.
Oh,
Where?
yes,
Where?
indeed,
Show
we
us.
have.
Do tell.
We've shown you video of it. We've shown you pictures of it.
I can link you to my Quora comment where I showed it today.
Don't make me spank you, Scott.
Good luck. We've shown you pictures too, Merl. We've shown you video of it too, Merl.
Someone's getting
Videos,
spanked.
videos and pictures.
Yes.
Let's talk about it.
evidence.
Curve made a good point, Scott.
Oh,
Look,
yeah.
you guys know there's no
breakfast
way
time.
you're living on a ball, spinning at 1,000 miles an
I never
hour,
said anything about the shape of the
traveling
Earth.
at 1.5 million miles an hour while retaining the atmosphere and the water.
Mhm.
You guys know that deep down inside. You have to know it by
I-
now.
Never once.
Fantasy story, Essie.
We know you're an idiot, Essie. That we do know. Yes.
Hey, Blue, what's up, brother?
Blue, I'm not making any personal attacks. I'm
Just listening to the crap.
Any more demonstrations of gas pressure without a container while you bring it in 2 containers? You moron. Blue.
for the gas pressure without a container thing.
15 degrees
Well,
now.
it still irks you guys, doesn't it? What? I've only done it twice. Maybe I'll do it a third time since it pisses you off so bad.
Piss me off. It gives me countless hours of laughter. Blue.
You guys
Hey,
have
Blue.
never been able to figure out how to answer that question. You never will. It proves
Hey,
what I
Blue.
set out to prove.
Use a shorter,
You guys tried to
larger,
you guys tried
more
to change the rules of the game, and
with
here
a
we go
bigger
again. Rocky
circumference
right now is
container
trying
as
to
you cut
move the
me off.
goalpost once again. No, I was
No.
talking, Rocky, when you cut me off.
Yeah,
You're trying to move the goalpost again.
if you review what just
I
happened,
think we've
you
already been through
jumped
that
in.
one time, and it better be a seal container or the gas will escape. You know who said that? That was Quantum Eraser, high priest
Yeah, over
of
time it will.
Flatardia. He's the
over
one that
time it
said
will.
that. It had to be. No, he was not talking about entropy at that point, Rocky, and you damn well know he wasn't. You just come up with an
I
excuse.
don't divine
That's all.
Huey's
You
thoughts.
can't. You
I'm
couldn't
talking about how
explain it
I
any other
watched the
way, and
video.
so then you had to come up with that stuff.
I just watched a
Just
video of a
bullshit.
man claiming you don't need a container to have gas pressure by
And you
using
don't.
a tall container sealed at one
Can you
end.
define? Do you honestly believe an open pipe is a container for pressurized gas, Rocky? Yes or no?
Do I believe a pipe is a container?
An open
Yes,
pipe.
I do.
An
An
open
It
pipe.
wasn't
top
open at the
pipe.
bottom where the
Open at the
gas
top.
was inserted.
Can a
And-
pressure vessel have an opening in it anywhere, Rocky, and
No,
maintain
it's
gas
not.
pressure?
No.
Depending on the
If it
gas
can,
that
it's not
you
a
use,
container.
depending on the gas that you use, where you insert it, and how long you leave it. Yes,
No.
a
No.
yes.
No,
An
no.
open pipe
Jesus.
is not a container.
It's just
An
not
open
true.
pipe is not a container.
No,
Well,
that's why
pressure
we have.
container.
That's why we have sealed pressure vessels.
A
They're not
open
open
pipe is
I have
not
not
a
A
container.
container for pressurized gas. No,
Correct.
I have a quick question for you, Rakia. The Earth, when you go up in altitude, say from sea level to 25,000 feet, the pressure changes. Are we contained in the Earth's atmosphere, but yet the pressure changes? It's open.
You're not talking about pressure at this point. You're talking
I
about
am.
gradient.
I'm talking
You're
about
talking
the
about
pressure.
gradient.
Yeah, the pressure gradient.
Pressure.
Yeah, to
Atmospheric
have
pressure.
gradient,
I
you have
specifically
to
said-
have
I
pressure.
specifically
Yes.
said when
And
you
I
go up in
demonstrated,
altitude,
and I
to
demonstrated the gradient in that pipe.
pressure.
I think
And
Blue
I
wrote it on the
demonstrated the
short
gradient
bus
in
today.
that open
Pressure.
pipe. Measured the gradient in that open pipe.
The bottom of that
Something
pipe
was-
off. Take your container off
something
the
was-
bottom of the pipe
Oh, you don't-
where you
you-
inserted your heavy
you
gas.
do it. You
and see
do it,
where that
Rocky.
gas
You do
goes.
something for a change.
No, brilliant
Come out of
guy.
your
Tell
ass.
us where
You
that
do it
gas would
yourself. I'm
go.
not doing anything. You don't tell me what to do. You're not about to tell me what to
Yeah,
do.
you're triggered because you know the answer.
Way to move the goalpost from my question. My question was, in open air, from sea level to 15,000 feet, isn't there a change in pressure?
Yeah, gradient.
Yeah.
Genius.
They cannot show you that, Lel. They cannot show you water arrest. I just wanted to go back to recap that they squirmed away and ran as far away as they could from the water, which is their favorite arguments. Continue. I'm listening.
And so the pressure gradient in our, I agree with you, Jose. So the pressure gradient in our atmosphere,
Scott, if you
and
want
the
to,
fact that it goes down as you go up, the pressure.
anytime you want to unmute, Scott,
Wait.
anytime.
So the pressure goes down as you go up, and it's contained within our atmosphere. Just like it was contained within Blue's pipe, which was open at the top. But it's contained within that little unit of area. Just like in our atmosphere, you take a square inch and it's contained within that square inch all the way up.
We heard you, Leo. So, Leo, the only reason... Leo, you don't mind if I answer you now, right?
Yeah,
so
answer the question.
Yeah, like right now. You know, the only reason that Blue was able to contain his gas that he inserted at the bottom of his container with the air above it is because the air above it that's also in the top of his pipe is also contained, sir.
How is it contained in an open pipe?
By our atmosphere, I agree.
What is the air? What is the air above it contained by, sir?
Call it the rakia.
Is it contained by, sir?
Seems to be. If we think every time Rakia goes sir at the end, we can think he say wah.
Yep.
If we think every time Jose interrupts and doesn't add anything to the argument, we can go wah.
Well, that's anything. Anytime you talk.
Oh, and by the way, to answer to Jose, we didn't run away for the water. I just posted a picture. 1052 Jose. Show me the curve, drop, or hump there. It's about 10 miles of water.
Undisturbed water.
Yeah, that's not undisturbed.
You know, for smart people, of course, y'all would know that
I never said it was undisturbed.
Yeah, we're talking about water that's not disturbed enough to cause the difference of what you can measure as 8 inches per mile. Like, it can be moving even a little bit and still not be 8 inches per mile. It's amazing that, right?
Understand, we don't run from water. Water is your Achilles heel.
No, it's
or your
not.
ball. Understand that. Water is your biggest weakness, guys. Understand that.
That body of water is not at rest, so
he's so dumb he doesn't realise how fucking dumb he is.
You're
Was that
deluded.
the moron, Peanut Man? Was that a rebut? You clown.
I rebutted. That water's not at rest, therefore
I
it's
don't
not.
understand why Rakia doesn't measure it.
Because he knows what he'll find.
That water, man.
Rocky's got all the equipment. Got all the equipment he needs. He's got all the levels.
Why would I listen to you? I'm not going to do what you tell me to do, Blue.
He's got all that stuff. I don't know why he doesn't do that.
You mean Ann, right?
How to.
Look at that water, man.
By the way, Essie,
how would we ever measure it?
Told you now.
It has energy in it, and therefore it's not.
No one doubts it has energy, Lale. The sun, moon.
Therefore, it's not flat because it has energy. So
yeah, but it's flat enough to measure, right? That it's not curving 8 inches per mile, right, Lale?
No.
Even you can understand that.
Yeah, I understand that. Water at rest finds.
Then why are you deceiving people?
You guys equate level to flat, and that water is not at rest.
That water
are you saying level isn't flat?
That water is undisturbed enough to measure, right, Lale?
I am saying that it is.
Right, Lale?
It has constant energy.
Right, Lale.
And therefore, it's not at rest.
You're delusional again, Leo. You should have a copy or something.
You guys both, you asked him a question and two people interrupted him.
Why are you
you give him 3 seconds. 3 seconds Leo had before he was interrupted.
Because he obfuscated and you didn't jump in.
It doesn't matter.
He said level doesn't mean
finish what
flat.
he's saying, man.
Clarify with substantive specificity. How does level not mean flat?
Because it means it follows like the curve of gravity. So
if
level.
you just say that, then it means that level is mean.
You don't need to be adding to the interruptions either. So if you guys ask,
you don't need to be cutting me off because you're a gambler that gets intellectually dismantled every time I venture myself.
I was answering your question interrupting. So what you should do is everybody here should stop interrupting after they've asked questions that are being answered. It's that easy.
Shut up, Scott.
Scott, can you
By the way, that
on mute, if that's okay?
The picture that was posted was CGI. Like that's a clear example of using the mirror effect in Photoshop.
Scott, can you please unmute?
I'll unmute when I talk, but I'll remute when I'm not talking.
Okay.
What are you with it? You are beta or alpha? Or
can we
Witsit is Sigma male.
Okay. Can we start?
Sigma. Sorry, Merl. I mute myself. That was funny.
Jose, perfectly still water. Sorry to cut you guys off. I just posted it. Have a look.
By the way, AC, I also posted what you asked for, water sticking to a spinning ball. Did you see that?
Yeah, that granite thing, your fantasy there spinning. Yep. Yeah, I saw that. Wow, that's special, bro.
Well,
yeah,
Witsit,
doesn't it show what you asked? Water sticking to a spinning ball.
Okay.
Sure. Now try spinning it at the equator at 1,000 miles an hour, and try
moving
it at 1.5 million miles an hour. See how that works out for you, Lael.
I'm not even Lael, so maybe you're being dumb today.
Oh, Laurie! Laurie! If I would have known, I wouldn't have even talked to you. You're insignificant. Go away.
Yeah. Nice to be triggered. Nice to hear you triggering.
Is it tactic?
So
he shows me a spinning ball of granite.
So Essie,
hey. He shows me a spinning
this is tactic, Montreal. You're afraid of some people, and then you say, "I don't want to talk to you. You're worthless," because you're afraid of them.
By the way, Essie, didn't you?
That's a good tactic, bro.
No.
Wasn't water sticking to a spinning ball what you asked for? You kind of did ask for that. So if we wanted to see something else, maybe you should have fucking specified. Like, the problem is you guys don't even specify your question. You ask for water sticking to a spinning ball. When I show you that, it's suddenly my problem that you didn't ask the question that you wanted to ask.
Listen, you moron. I repeat again, you're an insignificant tard. You showed us a granite thing spinning in somebody's front yard, and you're equating that to the earth. A ball spinning. No,
I'm not equating that to anything, you moron.
Are you triggered?
You asked me for that, and I gave it to you.
Are you triggered? Are you cutting me off?
No, I'm just triggering you.
Why are you triggered?
It's okay, guys.
See, this guy is a clown.
Point
proven.
If I can just ask one question, everyone can get involved in this too. Maybe everyone will enjoy it. So I was just going to ask M. Scott Veach if we could come to the first principles, if that's all right.
You're not measuring the ground, you're measuring water.
So anyway, if the room's just going to cut me off, I'll just talk louder. So we can have that.
You kind of cut me off, Merl. So
I was already in the middle of asking something, and then you came in. So I'll hit it quickly. What's the first principle of the heliocentric model?
Convexity of terra firma.
No.
Okay, well, if you don't have convexity of terra firma, you can't be in a heliocentric model.
The heliocentric model places the sun at the center of our solar system.
Hey, man, if you don't have convexity of terra firma, you can't have a sun at the center of a solar system.
I just want to know how is it?
Stop interrupting.
In real, you were done. There was a silence. There was silence, bro. Now, how is it happening that I'm hitting some people in 2 times speed and some people in normal speed? What's going on?
Again, Jose broke in and added nothing.
Oh,
I didn't break in. I talked when there was silence.
Yeah, there was silence.
Am I missing something? Why are the flat earthers? Why are the flat earthers being muted? What's the problem?
I don't know.
We're making too much sense, Kimo.
Yeah, but why is Witsit muted? What's the issue?
The issue is water.
Maybe he was being
Witsit did exactly what Jose did, and Witsit got muted, and Jose didn't. Very simple.
Dude, there was silence. There was the end of a statement. Everybody was quiet for like 2 solid seconds. Then I made my point.
Yeah, but I didn't even get to hear what Witsit's question was.
Witsit came in, and when there was silence right then.
Oh, Diva Rakifa, Queen Rakifa again.
Yeah,
colorful thing. I appreciate the colorful Colin-tin.
Just personal stuff, all right, Jose? Nothing about the subject.
Right, so hold on. So why is Witsit muted? What's the problem?
I didn't hear him do anything
acting
wrong.
Like a he's acting like a Sigma cunt.
No, he's not. His exact statement was about terra firma, the subject, and people jumped.
No, his question was about heliocentrism.
Yeah, so why then is he muted if he's asking a question?
I don't know.
Unmute him and let him ask his question again.
Veach, why is the son of an astronaut who works for NASA muting flat earthers? What's the problem with that?
Angry lately, Kimo?
Because he's a mod and he made a judgment call, and you already fucking know that, Kimo.
Yeah, but I'm saying that if Veach is the son of an astronaut who can prove that spaces exist, why would he mute the opposition? Why wouldn't he just answer the opposition?
Kimo, you're interrupting the flow of conversation. Why don't you stop interrupting?
Yeah, but I'm asking you. I've asked the question. Why is he muted?
You idiot! Don't be such a spaz.
I'm not being a spaz. I'm asking why is he muted? He was talking and just muted. Why?
I told you to send me a DM. I told you to send me a DM. That's the last time I say about it. Let the people get
Send a DM for what? Why did I send you a DM?
If you want to find out why he was muted, if you want to talk about it, you can DM me.
So you're just going to mute flat earthers when they talk? Is that the idea?
I'm going to mute people for mutable offenses. Now,
what was the offense? What did he do? That's what I'm saying. What happened?
We're not going to have the conversation in this VC right now.
So what are you going to do? Just mute flat earthers when you don't like what they're saying?
Stop doing it. Otherwise,
I'm not yelling. I'm asking a simple question. I'm saying, are you going to just mute the flat earthers when you don't like what they're saying? All week, Veach, you weren't here. Flat earthers were talking fine. No one was muted. You're here now. Flat earthers are muted. So what's the reason? Why is he muted?
Who's being muted?
Kimo's no longer with
muted 3 times.
What did he do, Scott?
Why have you removed me from the room, Veach?
You know what? I hear Esse Montreal.
What's not going to happen is that I'm not going to answer any of you guys. So you guys can keep asking.
I hear Esse Montreal.
So Veach, why are you muting me? What's going on? Why are you muting me?
There are flatterers.
I'm asking you a question. It's an open platform. Everyone can talk.
Conversation. I told you to DM me. You can do that. Otherwise, you can get muted.
Yeah, but DM you for what is what I'm asking. Why didn't you DM? You can say it now.
There are flat earthers that want to speak about flat earth here, not about drama, Kimo.
Yeah, I'm saying we've got flat earthers in here who want to talk. You're gatekeeping.
Yeah, exactly. You're now oppressing Esse Montreal and Rakia from speaking. Because you want drama.
I was asking the question.
Look, I hear Merl too.
Desperate.
I hear Merl, Esse Montreal, Rakia are here. Why are you trying to shut down flat earthers, Kimo, by talking about drama?
You interrupted Merl speaking, Jose.
So I'm asking why Witsit, all he had to say was because of this, because of that. He didn't say a reason.
Is that related to flat earth? Will that change the shape of the earth, Kimo?
Yeah, because when we have top flat earthers who have top information, they should be able to express that, right?
I know why they muted Witsit. You know why, Kimo? Because he went to the Georgia Guidestones and he gained some power and they feel it. They're afraid.
It looks to me like he's a threat to Veach's reality. This whole NASA nonsense is a threat to that.
Why are you derailing the VC? This is ridiculous. Yeah. People get muted. You know the reasons why people get muted.
Yeah, but look how long you've muted him for.
You're being ridiculous for muting Witsit for what he just did.
So just back off. Let people do what they're doing. And if you care that much, you can talk to me in DM.
Then unmute him.
Yeah, well, I'm getting involved in the conversation. So what's the topic? We're talking about curvature, space. What's the topic, Veach?
No, I asked the question.
Let me tell you what's not going to happen, Rocky. What's not going to happen is you're not going to give me orders about who to unmute.
I'm not giving any order. I asked you a question. It's not an order, Veach. I asked you what was the topic.
You want to help? What's the last thing?
Yeah, that's not an order. That is a question. What was the topic?
Suppose I asked the question.
So that's not an order. Try to pay attention to what's being said, Veach. I asked a simple question. You're a moderator. You're supposed to know what's going on.
I wasn't involved in the conversation, Kimo.
You pulled your mic.
Why you guys got to mute Austin, bro? Just let him back in.
Suppose I asked the question to hopefully engage the whole room.
Yeah, if you notice, Merl, you were kicked out last time because of the mod abuse, right? And now you've got other people with mod abuse and you're just sitting there allowing it to happen. Let me ask my question while other flat earthers are muted. Go ahead, Merl. Let's see you get protected when they decide that you want to flip out, Merl. They've had enough of you, Merl, and they want to mute you, Merl. Let's see how you respond in that moment.
I've already
bothers that you got the microphone so down inside your throat, Kimo, bro. It's so annoying.
Can we get you pull it out of your throat?
More civil than Jose, and
I've already been through that, Spurs. You know that.
So if you've been through it, then why are you like, oh yeah, flat earthers have been unfairly muted. Let me just carry on anyway.
Because if I can re-engage the room, then Witsit will get unmuted and we can carry on.
No, he won't. He would have been unmuted by now.
Well, he'll be unmuted.
Let's just unmute him.
He would have been unmuted by now if you guys had not made such a big deal about it. This is ridiculous.
All right, well, let's just unmute him and carry on.
So what we're saying has anything to do with him being muted? That's a stupid mod.
I'd like to hear a one-on-one with Witsit and Scott Veach.
Yeah, let's get that on, Veach. You go and prove your space.
I'm ready for that.
I'm into that,
just make Rakia. Why are you trying to control the server?
That's a good topic. Flat earthers agree that we should have Witsit talk to Veach about space.
Let's do that. Everyone go on mute.
You guys, unfortunately, who gets muted, who doesn't, isn't up to you. So you guys are only making things worse by trying to.
So what are we gonna do? We can't have
Witsit. No, Veach, you're the only one making things worse here.
I'm really not. I'm just chilling here. You guys
really, when you weren't here, it was all good.
You guys should move on, really.
How can we move on, Veach, when in fear that if a flat earther says something that you don't like, you're going to mute them? How can we move on?
It's not the reason he got muted. If you want to know the reason, you can DM me.
Yeah, I'm asking you, how is that how can we move on when we're all in fear? We're all worried, Veach. Everyone is worried that you are going to mute them for speaking.
You're derailing the VC.
Yeah, and again, all the flat earthers are worried about what you're about to do if you say the wrong thing.
Okay, well, they can live in worry then. Like, give me a fucking break.
So then how can we move on then? What do you mean move on to what? When we're in fear?
I think they can do it. Whatever they were talking about.
Well, again, you thought wrong because you've muted someone for no reason.
No, it was for a reason.
Not any more reason than anybody else.
Yes, it was for more reason than anyone else.
No, people overtalk, people shout, people scream, they swear.
Hey,
guys, can we have a conversation with two people?
Kimo, can I interrupt? Can I interrupt with a question? Kimo, why do you keep? I see a clear pattern. You keep muting Dross when he's on VC. So I was wondering about that. Why do you do that?
Yeah, well, what Dross would do is take the time to talk about himself, change the topic, derail, and have nothing to do with the subject whatsoever. So if we're talking flat Earth stuff, and he chooses to derail and talk about how if Dross chooses to derail and talk about strawberry picking in the middle of a flat Earth discussion, well, that's why are you doing that? We're in the middle of
discussion. But that kind of makes me afraid because I don't know then when you're gonna go on a mad rampage and start just muting people randomly.
I've just told you why.
That kind of
I've just told you why, Laurie. Don't derail the conversation.
We have a trusting atmosphere in this VC, but you are ruining it, Kimo, with your.
I've just told you, Laurie. Don't derail the conversation. Stick to the topic. Don't go onto the social element. And everything will be fine. We're here in a flat Earth server, not to talk about fairies or UFOs or trains or cars or anything like that.
Or maybe not to derail the topic to why someone got muted.
Hey, Scott, would you like to inform the whole room you're scared to debate me, even though your dad was an astronaut and you can't debate me on anything about your little thermodynamics violation?
That's what the people want. They want to see an astronaut against.
I have no idea what are you even talking about?
You muted me because you can't debate me, and you're terrified.
We weren't having a debate.
Your religion better than you. That's why you're interrupting me.
You overtalk people, and that's why.
Unmute me, Scott.
We weren't having a debate.
Scott, unmute me, dude.
You literally just showed up, and I don't know how you got unmuted, but we're gonna check and see. And if it was Kimo, there's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, I calmly spoke. Right?
You overtalked me. It was overtalking.
You weren't even talking, Scott, when I
jumped in. You should be muted right now, Scott.
You overtalked somebody, and that's why you got muted.
Well, all you're going to end up killing the server with this moderation. The flat earthers won't turn up. It'll be a circle jerk, and Veach will be happy to have people just sitting here.
Why would you have to be
Veach, why do you keep on removing me from the room?
Because I
know why.
I embarrass you.
That's the reason to move. Oh, okay. That's the reason to move someone from the room for over talking.
What does that have to do with anything? Who cares?
Is that a reason, Veach, to kick someone from the room for over talking?
It's a reason. It's a reason to stop you from being.
Okay, fine. So that's a reason for over talking to disconnect someone. Okay, got it. Your rules.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Sure.
Unmute my channel.
Remember that.
You and Professor Phil. Remember that.
Unmute my name, Scott.
Unmute your name. What are you talking about?
My name is muted. Unmute me.
Well, how are you talking then?
I'm on Nathan's channel. Unmute my name, dude. What are you scared of? What I have
to say? You guys doing big spin, little spin right now?
What did you say?
Are you doing big spin, little spin?
Meth is a powerful drug,
Scott.
Hell
no, there ain't no spin. It's gonna have to go to Omega.
You know there ain't no spin.
So we're gonna spend the next half an hour talking about Veach's modding.
Veach,
I have to.
Thanks, Kimo. You did this, bro. It's all you, Kimo. Thanks for doing it.
Give me the Veach ball.
Scott Beach did this.
Pass the Veach ball.
I have to agree. Witsit should be unmuted. He will start spiraling otherwise.
I think you should be muted because you're retarded.
Him and Scott. Let's see who spirals first.
Let's see if you spiral, SC.
Any Glovers should be muted because they're ugly as a baboon's ass.
Alright, Laurie, you're interrupting. Stop interrupting, Laurie. Don't interrupt, Laurie. Stop interrupting.
Yeah, but Dimok was okay.
Jose, stop interrupting, Jose. Jose, stop interrupting. Jose, where is Jose? Jose, stop interrupting.
Okay, y'all won.
Kimo is interrupting for good reason.
No, Laurie, stop interrupting. Laurie,
Very good reason.
Laurie, stop interrupting.
When I am interrupting. I'm still talking. So I'm just gonna get off. Congratulations, Scott. You won. You muted and censored me so that I couldn't talk when I'm in a hurry and we actually have things to do because we go out and test the actual earth constantly all day, every day, and you're scared to do it because you live in fairy tale land.
Witsit, you interrupted me.
Laurie, you're interrupting.
And stop censoring me and muting me when I'm the calmest person here that actually says intelligent things and doesn't
Right, Nemesis, Cypher, we're obviously being very strict here.
Babbling statements.
So if you interrupt, you get muted.
Because everyone can see that astronaut's son is scared to debate a flat earth.
Anytime you're done with, just let us know.
Okay.
Yeah, Scott, it ain't gonna go good, bro, if you don't unmute him. And
Essie, you are interrupting.
You're gonna look really bad.
Laurie, you're interrupting.
Scott from the room because he interrupts people.
Laurie, you're interrupting. Very strict here now. You've been muted.
Unmute me.
Scott, mute yourself and ban yourself. You've been talking over everybody.
Are you scared to unmute me, Scott?
There's literally no way not to talk over people because you guys won't stop talking.
Scott, you have literally not talked over everyone right now. You literally talk over every fucking person every time, and then you go.
Because I got muted.
That's not true at all.
That is
not true. I got muted less
than
than 10 seconds in here, dude. I have it recorded. You're a liar. But
he said one or two words, and you muted him.
Apple didn't fall far from the tree, huh?
It's impossible to say
Apple didn't fall from the tree, did it, Scott?
Because Witsit can't. He's so triggered, he can't stop talking.
I'm triggered because you're a little bitch, and you have me muted because
you
you're
shouldn't
afraid
be
to
over
let me
talking.
talk
You wouldn't get
because I
muted. And then you
dismantled
shouldn't.
So we hear that, everybody. No over talking, otherwise Veach will mute you from now on. That's the new rule.
You know, of all people, like the number of times you mute for no reason, it's crazy. Like so.
Hey, Scott, do you remember what happened? Why did you mute me, Scott? Do you remember what happened? Because I remember what happened. Because I don't have a low IQ like you. So do you remember what happened?
Because you were over talking. I told you.
Okay, well I'll tell you exactly what happened. I waited for the gap in the conversation. Literally, no one was talking. I have it recorded. You little liar. And I said, "Wait, are you saying?"
You say that every time. You
now
never
you're interrupting.
You never
me,
bring the.
Look at that. What a joke. So then I said, "Wait, are you saying that level doesn't mean flat?" When there was no one else talking, and you muted me.
No, that's not what happened.
No, on my unborn child.
God, you can't shut the fuck up for 5 seconds, can you, you rubber lip bastard?
I started answering that question, and as soon as I started talking, you
How about shut the fuck up, Scott?
And then I said, "Why are you going to overtalk me when I'm answering your question?" Then
shut the fuck up, you.
And then,
sorry, Dan, you were over talking. Veach's new rules.
So you're scared. You're scared to let me freely express myself because you
just have to not overtalk. Right? That's that simple. It's not that hard, guys.
You're literally interrupting every time I speak, Scott.
Listen, Witsit, when you're high like this, you don't stop talking. The only way to get a word in edgewise is to start talking when you're talking because you'll go on for hours just spewing.
You're lying, M.
Okay,
Scott.
are you
sorry, Rakia, new rules. If you overtalk, you've got to get muted, right, Veach? That's the new rule. Sorry, Rakia, that can't happen.
I'm not sure what you mean by that.
Pyro, can you stop overtalking, like Veach said?
No, why are you over?
Thank you.
Overtalking is clearly a muting rule that we have here.
Hey, Scott, I challenge you to a 1v1, dude. Are you afraid to debate a stupid flat earther with a chipped tooth?
About what? What are you even talking about?
About anything to do with your fairy tale religion that you have to censor me to prevent exposing the lies of.
No, I'm not afraid to talk to you about anything.
Then why are you censoring me if you're not afraid to talk to me about it?
Because you were over talking. We've been over this.
Okay, but hey, do you agree to a 1v1?
What do you mean? Yeah, sure. Whatever that means.
Okay, so unmute my name then.
I thought you said you had to leave now.
Unmute my name. No,
you'll get unmuted in exactly 2 minutes from now. I'll set the time.
You're scared, aren't you, Scott?
I'm not.
Everybody will shut up. Nobody will say a word.
Sorry, SC, new rules in the house. If you overtalk, bang, you get muted, according to V.
As if overtalking didn't used to be a mutable offense, Kimo. Like, what are you even talking about?
It's a new offense now. You said he overtalked, so you muted him.
Yeah, overtalking is something you get muted for. Yes, it's always been the way.
But I didn't overtalk though. No one was talking, and I got interrupted.
Yeah, you did. Go listen to that recording.
You're overtalking me again, Scott. I got 4 words in.
Go listen to that recording you have.
Oh, I will, buddy. I will.
It's all right, Witsit. Let him keep overtalking you because it's being recorded and it will show what he's doing. Yeah, so carry on.
Yeah, I was waiting. I waited for a gap. I said, "Wait, are you saying that level doesn't mean flat?" And then he muted me. And then right before he muted me, 5 people interrupted, calling me names, not letting me finish, screaming over me. None of them got muted, and I got muted. That's what happened.
That's just not true. Go listen to your recording. It's not at all what happened.
Unmute me, Scott. I thought you weren't scared to 1v1
Well, stop lying about what happened. You need to go listen to your recording.
Unmute me, Scott.
You should go listen to your recording when you get back. You're gonna unmuted.
Oh, so you're afraid to debate me, huh?
Well, if you're gonna lie like that, what's the point? Like, listen to your.
You're self-projecting. You have no moral.
What happened was you asked the question. and I started to answer the question.
You are
then
a liar,
overtalked.
just like your father, Scott.
What happened is you asked the question, I started answering,
Hey,
and then
Scott,
you overtalked.
you're a liar,
and then
just
you started
like your
overtalking
father.
again to my answer, and that's when you got muted. It's not that hard. It's like not
Is
that
this
big a
where
deal.
is this where you unmute my name? Or you keep on making excuses.
I mean, the way you keep talking like this is not going to help you.
You're afraid to have an intellectual exchange where I have my microphone.
We're talking right now. Clearly, I'm not.
Okay,
afraid.
yeah, okay, cool. Do you deny entropy?
No, I think it should be.
Okay, what's the physical containment, which is the necessary antecedent to the pressurized system we have?
You don't need a container. You don't need a physical container. You can use.
Okay,
forces.
can you explain that? Why do we not?
Yeah, you can use forces.
You can use force. Can you give me a practical demonstration of there being no equilibrium sought beyond a force of energy?
There being no equilibrium. What?
Being sought beyond energy.
I can't hear the words you're saying.
Oh yeah, because you don't have my microphone. How about you unmute my name where I have a microphone?
No equilibrium. What?
Hey man, I think you need to unmute my name, bro. Unless you're scared.
You're not fucking muted, but Veach, will you
I am muted, you idiot.
Jose?
I am muted. You're a moron.
You dumb motherfucker! If I can hear you, you're not muted.
I'm on Nathan's name because I'm muted. You're an idiot.
I muted Jose because he interrupted. Veach just said if you interrupt, you get muted. That's always been the way Veach has just said.
Kimo, don't be ridiculous. You're being a spaz.
What?
Wow, you have such a double standard, Scott.
Hold on, Veach, I don't get it. You just said if you interrupt Veach, you gotta mute them. So I'm doing what you said. You said don't be. What are you talking about?
You have to be judicious about it, Kimo. You have to then.
So now you're changing another rule. So what? Explain to me the full rules then, Veach. What's the deal?
Well, I told you to DM me. We're not gonna.
Well, I don't need to DM you. Everyone can hear what we've got to say. What we're hiding it for?
Well, I think it's going to take a while for you to get.
Well, they need to know
Okay,
the
so
rules.
what happened was I said, wait, are you saying that level doesn't mean flat? So Scott, there's my question for you. Does level mean flat? Yes or no?
I already answered the question. You were over talking me.
Does level mean flat? Yes or no?
I already told you. You
Yes
were
or no?
talking to me when I started answering.
Okay, so it doesn't mean that, right?
I already answered the question. You were
and your answer was that level doesn't mean flat. That was your answer.
No, I don't. That was not necessarily the answer.
Okay, what's your answer then?
You were over talking me when
you don't even know it.
You should go listen to the recording.
Does level mean flat?
I already gave you your answer. Go listen to the recording.
Okay, so you can't answer that question. So, son of an astronaut down 0 to 1. Let's go to the next point. So, they claim that there's a pressurized system adjacent to a near perfect vacuum of 10 to the negative 17 torque. Can you explain this?
I would love you to go get this recording that you're always threatening.
I would love for you to stop trying to constantly divert and drown in obfuscation because you're a coward. So they claim there's a pressurized system. You're interrupting me again, Scott. I think you messed up. I wasn't done talking. I'll continue. So they claim there's a pressurized system adjacent to a near perfect vacuum of 10 to the negative 17 torque. Scott, you have to interrupt me.
You don't let anyone else talk because you just.
Scott, that's what you're self-projecting, dude. I was in the middle of a sentence and you interrupted me for the 15th time in a row.
You finished your sentence. Your sentence was an insult, and I was responding.
No. I was asking a question. So they claim that there's a pressurized system adjacent to a near perfect vacuum of 10 to the negative 17 torque, void of physical containment. Can you explain how that is consistent with the second law of thermodynamics?
I was saying that I would love for you to go get this recording that you're always threatening to go get.
Okay, so the son of an astronaut down 2-0. So we'll move on to the next point. Is the horizon a physical location, Scott?
So I hate to break this to you, but if you notice, I have not yet been able to get one sentence out because you keep interrupting everything.
No, you're diverting.
That may be true, or you may think I am, but either way, you're interrupting.
No, I'm not. So you're down 2-0. So we'll move on. Is the horizon a physical, tangible location?
When you say you're not interrupting me, what do you mean by that? Because you are stopping me from talking in the middle of my sentences.
Scott, you can't answer one direct question. You're 0 for 3.
We're not.
I thought you were the son of an astronaut.
Are you under the illusion that you're somehow driving the context of our discussion? Do you?
Are you under the illusion that people can't tell that you're clearly very terrified of having an intellectually honest conversation right now?
I really don't think that's the case. I promise.
Well, everyone here knows it's the case because I've asked you 3 point-blank questions. You haven't answered one of them.
Yeah, you keep interrupting me though.
I have not.
Oh my God, you just did it again. You literally done it the last 3 times.
So do you haven't answered any of the questions? Do you even remember them, or is your retainment capabilities too remedial for that?
I wasn't really listening to your question.
Of course not, because you're remedial. So I'll ask them again. I'll ask it again. I'll ask it again, Scott. Is the horizon? Oh yeah, there you go. Interrupt me. Interrupt me.
I'm not gonna do this with you. You're gonna keep being obnoxious like this. If you're gonna keep interrupting, it's not worth it.
Scott, I'm letting you.
If you want to start acting like an adult and be like normal in your conversation, I'll have a conversation with you.
Scott, I'm letting you. I'm letting you.
Oh my God, you can't. You cannot You literally just can't help yourself. So dude, until you can stop interrupting, we're not going to do this. I'm done.
Scott, dude, I was letting you finish, bro. And then I'm responding. And you keep on just not answering any of the questions. And then you interrupt me every time. And then when I interrupt you back, you bitch about it. So is the horizon a physical, tangible location, yes or no?
That's literally not true. You
can't answer the question.
You just did it again.
Answer the question, Scott.
You literally interrupted me every single thing I've said except for 2 times.
Is the horizon a physical, tangible location? Yes or no?
God, you just did it again. And you only did the non-interruptions because I was browbeating you about interrupting. You really need to stop. You're out of control. I don't know if you're high or spazzing or what, but you're being ridiculous.
So can you answer the question yet, or are you going to keep telling us about your feelings?
Are you going to stop interrupting me?
Sure. So is the horizon a physical, tangible location? Yes or no?
The horizon is a point on the surface of the Earth that is relative to where you are and what your height is, and it can be physical. You can go and touch it, but it will vary, and it sometimes can be loomed. When it's loomed, you're seeing this physical point in a spot that's different than where it actually is.
Can I get a video of you going and touching the horizon, please? Horizon, please.
You cannot.
Okay, so you just make that up. Then you don't have any empirical evidence that you can touch the horizon, so so how do you know you can't?
You asked me the question, I gave you the answer.
You just made up a story, though. Do you have any empirical evidence of that? Because actually what we observe in reality when we go out and test the surface of the Earth is that the horizon constantly changes location. It's an optical effect. You claim that we could physically touch it. Do you have any evidence of this?
You're just interrupting me again in the middle of the sentence. It's like insane.
You're so scared right now. You're imploding, dude.
I'm really not. I gave you the answer.
Okay, cool. So your answer was insufficient. You lost. So okay.
It is insufficient. And what I told you was that the horizon is a physical location that you can touch, but sometimes it is loomed or refracted, and you'll see it in a spot that it isn't actually. It's still physical. It's still in the spot, and it's different depending upon where you're standing and what your height is. So when you go and touch it, you're touching what was the horizon for you at some other point. You know?
Yeah, but can it change even if you keep the same altitude and location?
It can, yeah.
So it doesn't just change because of or it doesn't just change because of your location.
No, it changes for a lot of reasons.
Atmospheric conditions.
Well, it'll appear to change because of atmospheric conditions.
Appear? No, like, do you have any evidence that there's anything outside of the appearance?
Well, yeah, I mean, the fact that everything is outside the appearance. We have appearance of anything, and the way that we have these things appear is that they are actually physical objects somewhere, and the light is just being moved.
Okay, so is the horizon that we perceive curved or horizontal?
Depends on what you're looking at and how far.
The horizon.
Yeah, it depends. I mean, whether it's going to look horizontal or look curved, it will depend.
Where does it look curved?
The horizon wasn't
when you're high
Leo,
enough,
you're interrupting, Leo. Can you not
or when you're looking at it from space.
When we're looking at it from space, so we can't verify that. We have to believe NASA.
Or you don't have to believe NASA.
Okay, so on Earth is the horizon curved or horizontal?
God, Witsit, you gotta slow down and relax, dude.
On Earth is the horizon curved or horizontal?
Yeah, hold on. When you interrupt me, I'm gonna go back and finish my sentence. So it's no good to keep interrupting me.
Okay, whatever. This is funny. You look dumb.
So I really don't. I promise you.
I promise on everything I love that you do.
I know, but you say that every time, and you never are.
You can't even answer like remedial elementary questions, and you're some of an asshole.
But you keep interrupting, don't you?
So no. Is the horizon on the Earth curved or horizontal?
The thing I was trying to say before you interrupted me was that you don't have to trust NASA. There's more than just one space agency that goes to space. So you can look at any of the 71 different agencies that do it.
Okay. Is the horizon that we observe on the Earth curved or horizontal?
We know the horizon is we know the Earth is curved. So we know the horizon represents where the curve apex is.
Hey, is the horizon that we observe on the Earth curved or horizontal?
The Earth is curved, so the horizon represents the apex.
Hey, the horizon that we observe on the Earth, is it curved or horizontal, Scott?
I just told you the answer to that.
You can't answer the question, so we'll move on.
I just gave you the answer. It's the apex of a curve.
Okay, so do you agree there's a certain convexity rate of terra firma necessitated by the radius value claim?
Sure.
Do you think that the most efficient way to test that would actually be to go measure and find that convexity rate?
I mean, you said that, I think the most efficient way to test it would be to go and find it.
To go measure the convexity rate, yeah.
What do you mean, as opposed to what else would you do to find it?
Oh, yeah, good question. So that's the most efficient. I mean, yeah, that's the way we have to go test it, right?
What makes you think, why are you saying efficient?
Well, yeah, because globe earthers say stupid things like, if I look at the sun and presuppose a spherical object with presupposed dimensions, that proves my dimensions. So I kind of got to tailor it to your remedial approach. But nevertheless...
You can measure things indirectly, and that's sometimes...
Hey, okay, so you agree that measuring the surface is the best way to either verify or falsify a convexity rate claim?
I think finding the convexity rate or finding the rate of curvature is the best way to do it. And you can do that either by direct measurement, by indirect measurement, by observation. You can do it in a wide variety of
How can you do it with indirect measurement? What is that? What's indirect measurement?
Well, you can do things like what Eratosthenes did.
Indirect measurement is an oxymoron. Did you know that?
I don't think that's true.
It is, because Eratosthenes, although no primary documentation of this story at all, he used a calculative deduction. That's not synonymous with measurement. They're different.
No, but if you measure something that isn't directly what you're trying to measure, but then you can calculate what you're trying to measure from it, you're indirectly measuring it.
No. You're calculating it.
You're calculating it based on the measurement you did, which is an indirect measurement.
Oh, you made the direct measurement. You made the direct measurement, and then you calculated based on an assumption.
It's a measurement that's removed by 1 degree from your final answer.
Okay, anyway, so we went out and we measured surfaces of the surface of the Earth, and it's not bending at that rate. So seem to have a problem. No, Scott. Oh, you don't believe me?
No.
Okay, so can you provide evidence of a consistent physical obstruction consistent with the convexity rate necessitated by the radius value?
Can you provide me evidence of this curvature that you've measured that doesn't show the right rate?
Oh, why would I give you evidence of curvature when I know the Earth's not a ball that defies physics? Can you please provide physical empirical evidence of a convexity rate that's dependent upon your metrics claim of the radius value?
Because you just claim to have done it and have seen that it doesn't match the rate.
Yeah, that's correct. We have an observation from 1 foot off the ground where the horizon is over.
Finish my sentences.
No, you're just saying stupid things.
So I'm asking you to show the evidence of this thing that you just claim you did.
Okay, you've seen it. So we have an observation coined the black swan 1 foot off the ground where the horizon is over 10 miles away. We require the radius value to be over 258,000 miles. So you say that that's not true, but you just say that. We're asking for physical empirical evidence of a consistent physical tangible obstruction consistent with the convexity rate necessitated derived from the radius value claim.
Well, do you not think that looming is a thing? Do you believe that refraction happens?
Yeah, refraction happens. Welcome to flat Earth, bro. Snacks in the back. That's why we have a horizon.
And so don't you think it's possible that the black swan is actually an example of refraction looming?
Don't you think it's possible that actually fairies pick me up out of the bed every morning?
No.
Okay, no, I don't believe your fairy tales. Give me some empirical evidence.
So do you think it's possible that the black swan is an example of refraction looming?
No, because refraction, when it comes to terrestrial refraction, which is what we're talking about, the terra firma, right? It cannot lift and move the physical obstruction and convexity rate, i.e. the curve of the supposed sphere Earth that you think we live on. It cannot lift it and move it backwards because it has a physical necessitation of the radius value.
Of course it could do that. That's absurd that you think it can't. Think about
Can you provide specificity like an adult for once?
Well, I can tell you exactly how it works. The looming is the act in which a point or an object that is further away or is in the distance is going to be lifted up higher than it actually is. Okay. Now, by definition, the horizon is that point on the water that is the furthest that we can see. And the reason you can't see any further is because the water that comes before that point is obstructing the water after the point. So then if looming causes the water after the point to lift high enough so that you see it, well, that de facto becomes the new horizon. And in that way, you extend the horizon back via looming. It's pretty straightforward.
That was a cool story. So do you have any physical empirical evidence of this?
Well, does it not make sense to you?
Are you asking if I can understand what you said? Yeah, of course. It's a fairy tale. Do you have empirical evidence of it?
Why do you say it's a fairy tale?
Because it's inconsistent and contrary to the physical empirical evidence that I have.
No, but it's not inconsistent.
Yeah, so a requirement at this point is for you to present a combative physical empirical postulation.
So you're interrupting me again.
You know, you're just getting dismantled. Do you need me to dumb it down for you, Scott?
What you need you to do is to stop interrupt.
If the Earth's a ball, it curves in all directions. Well, if it's a ball of a certain size, it curves in all directions at a certain rate. We have physical empirical evidence that this isn't the case. You're saying it is the case and that I'm wrong. So can you provide physical empirical evidence of a consistent physical obstruction consistent with the convexity rate derivative of the radius value, please?
So getting back to where we were before you interrupted. The answer to the question was the way in which the horizon can be extended backwards is via looming, because looming just lifts points higher than they actually are. And if it does so in a manner that allows you to see points that you weren't seeing before, well, that becomes the new horizon. Now, that makes perfect sense. That is how looming works. You agree with that? So in what part of that do you think is the fairy tale, as you said?
The fairy tale is where you say that all that happens, but I promise, even though that's what we observe, there's something additional to that that's a literal physical place that never moves, that's curving. and causing physical obstruction. We just never see it. That's the fairy tale part, Scott. How long have you been doing this?
But where's the fairy tale part of the looming part? You said the looming could not cause the horizon to extend backwards. Just explain how.
No, that's right. It can't cause a. No, I said it can't cause a physical location, a geometric horizon of physicality to lift up and physically move. So you're saying it stays there and it just looks like it moves. Provide physical evidence that it's there, Scott.
Looming is about when the appearance of the height of an object is different than the actual height of the object.
So you can't answer the question?
Do you not know that that's the definition of looming?
Do you not know what my question is?
At this point, I don't think you're making enough sense to have
a okay, so you're just too remedial. So I'll say it simpler. You're claiming that there is a curvature that blocks our view based on the radius value. You claim that it's a physical location. It doesn't change. It's literally set in stone based on the radius value.
No.
Now we see the horizon. I'm still talking, Scott. And now we see the horizon constantly fluctuates based on atmospheric condition, observer height, etc. Now you're saying that is reflective of an actual location. We don't see the actual location, but I promise it's there. All we ever see is the horizon is an optical effect where the sky appears to meet the ground and constantly fluctuates. So you have the burden of proof to substantiate the claim that there's a physical location. So can you please provide empirical evidence of the physical location of the curvature of the Earth?
There's so much wrong with what you just said. Let's just take it in pieces. The first thing you said that was wrong is that you said that the horizon is fixed by the radius of the Earth and it's unmoving and it's permanent. That's not the case. It's relative to an observer. Which do you think?
So the actual curve of the Earth changes?
So it would be good if you didn't interrupt me a little. I don't know if you noticed, but I don't interrupt you when you're going.
I don't know if you noticed, but I actually have stuff to do. I'm not like a loser. So can we chop it up a little bit?
Well,
Let's speed up.
You kind of
Then fucking go, dude. Because for the last 10
feel
minutes,
free to go on mute, Gamer Mel. No one's talking to you, literally.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Scott. Answer my actual question, Scott.
First of all, your question is malformed. It doesn't make any sense.
Oh, specify why.
I was trying to. If you wouldn't stop interrupting.
Okay, go ahead.
Is it okay now? Can I go ahead?
Yeah, you have my permission. Go ahead.
Okay. I think I will then. So the first thing you said was the horizon is fixed and permanent and a function of the radius and it never changes. This is obviously not true, right? This is a horizon is something that's relative to an observer and it's different for every observer based on their height and their location and all that. So then you said that the horizon is moving. The contradiction of the thing you had said just before that. So I'm not sure what you meant by that.
Okay,
and then you said that the horizon that we never see, but of course we do see it because if it's being loomed up, we're now seeing it.
Okay, so we'll try this again. I actually specify the distinction between the apparent location that is the horizon and your claim of an actual location that is invisible but that you know is there, that's consistent with the convexity rate. And I said that location that's physical, that you claim is there, but we just don't see, it is always exactly in the same location. That is a geometric necessitation of the radius value.
No.
Now, you have effectively, for 3 times in a row now, strawmanned me and said that I said that the apparent horizon doesn't move. What an idiot. So can you provide empirical evidence of the physical actual location that you claim is there?
What you just said is incorrect. This horizon that you're referring to.
You're getting just decapitated right now, Scott. This is terrible.
I promise you that I'm not. You say this all the time, and yet you're never quite right. You just sort of
hey, specify.
In fact, you often do that at a rate that's inversely proportional to how you're doing.
Can you provide some substantive specificity, please?
Well, if you would stop interrupting, you'd hear what I'm going to say.
You just keep saying that as you implode and freak out.
I promise between the two of us, I'm not the one freaking out.
What did I just say? What's my premise that you're supposed to be responding to? Do you even know?
So if you would not interrupt, I'll tell you what the answer is. So the problem is really. So you keep saying that the horizon is fixed and locked to the Earth. This is not true. The horizon is relative to the observer. You keep talking about a horizon that is invisible, that we can't see. You'll have to explain what you mean by that because it is not invisible. When it's loomed up, if it becomes the horizon, it is by definition being seen.
Okay, when it's loomed up, my friend, is what you see the actual location or is it just an apparent location?
But if it wasn't loomed up, it wouldn't be the horizon.
When it's loomed up, is it an actual location or apparent location?
I answered that. I said apparent.
Okay, I didn't hear you. Okay, so if it's an apparent, then where's the actual location, Scott?
The actual location is somewhere lower than that.
Like roughly 7.98 inches per mile squared?
No, it's somewhere lower than the looming.
Is it roughly 1.225 times square root of the observer's height?
Answer the question.
Stop talking about looming. We're talking about the actual location.
I know, and the actual location compared to the apparent location is a function of how much it got loomed.
So where's the actual location?
Somewhere below the apparent location.
You mean 1.225 times the square root of the observer's height in feet?
No.
So that's not what it is?
We don't know how much it got loomed, so we don't know where it is.
So all of the subject matter experts in your field are wrong, and they say that there's a certain convexity rate. It's 1.225 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. Yeah, you interrupt me every time, Scott. All right, I'll get out of here. Everyone clearly sees Scott's afraid to let me speak unimpeded because he's a joke. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
You're a fucking methed out fucking spastic, dude.
Oh, I've never even seen meth in my whole life. You're an idiot.
Yeah.
So anyway, he's conflating. Shut up! I'm still talking. He's conflating an apparent and actual. Shut up! I'm still talking.
Nobody ever cares.
He's conflating an apparent and an actual. Okay, I guess I'll turn myself up. He's conflating an actual and an apparent location.
Still hearing from you, Witsit. See you later, bro.
It's an affliction. It's an affliction with.
So anyway, Scott is conflating the apparent and actual location.
The spastic, fucking spastic. You can go
take care. Be safe out there in the street.
Nobody wants to hear your departure speech.
Just take care out there, Witsit. Be careful on the road, bro.
Yeah, I will. Don't worry. I know y'all's real, bro. Maybe you should. Hey, shut up. This Gamma Mel can shut up if you want to mute him. Mute this Gamma right now. Scott, mute the Gamma. Mute the Gamma.
All right, hold on.
Why would you, Scott, you just went on a long...
Hold on.
See, you let this guy talk all day and interrupt me and cuss me out and say names and call me a meth head, but I can't even talk unimpeded. What a clown show, dude. So anyway, okay, so Scott I'm going to finish talking, dude. Scott was conflating an apparent and actual location. The actual location is a convexity rate, a physical obstruction based on the radius value. This is objective. No one cares what Scott has to say about it. He's conflating an apparent and actual location. So the point is, there's no physical empirical evidence of this convexity rate. We went and tested it and falsified it. So either you want to know the truth and you go test it yourself, or you do not. No one cares what you think about me personally. I got to go anyway. We're going to go make some more observations that debunk your fairy tale. We're also going to be at Fake X Launch again tonight, where we debunk your fairy tale, where a parabolic trajectory barely levitates in the air, incredibly slow. It's laughable, but you don't want to test it because it's more comfortable for you to think that you're smart and call Austin stupid and make up lies about how he does drugs. I'll catch up with you on the flip. Witsit gets it on YouTube. Links in the description. Peace out.
Here's Witz.
Thanks, man.
Wow. Okay, well, there's no reason he should have made it some departure speech, dude. And why are you allowing that, Kimo?
Allowing what? He was talking. Veek said if you interrupt, you get muted. Bang.
I didn't interrupt him. Okay, I just said
he fucking interrupted it over a dozen times. So go kick rocks.
I only wanted to ask him one question. Okay, I never asked Witsit anything. What the fuck?
Definitely needs to speak.
As if I was gonna wreck him or something. I was just gonna ask.
Can I put in a complaint against Kimo for mod abuse?
The question. Yeah, excuse me 1 second. I was talking. So, yeah. So the question, even though he's not here, I don't know if anybody else is interested in it, but the question would be to him that if there is an apparent position, does that mean there is a location? If there's an apparent location, therefore there must be a real location if there's an apparent one, right? Like if you see like the fish is in a apparent position, does that mean that there's no fish, or does that mean that the fish is just in the actual another position? Same with the horizon. So if we're looking at a apparent horizon, does that mean that there's no horizon, as in the example of the fish? Of course, there's still a horizon. It's just not in the position that we're looking at it at. Am I correct, or what?
Well, you're correct.
Are you still here?
So, do we have a flat Earth fucking moron monologuing in here?
Yeah, I'm still here, Monkey. Sorry. I'm probably sorry.
Crazy mod abuse, man.
Locations of physical. Huh? I guess we're back to normal. Kimo's superstar left the call, therefore he's gonna be alright now. No more being an asshole, Kimo.
Hey, I was just following, what Veech was doing. He was saying that Witsit didn't even get a sentence out.
You're just abusing mod Kimo.
He didn't even get a sentence out. Bang, he was muted. I was like, what's going on? What? That usually don't happen.
Well, you just lied because that's not what we heard.
That's not true. You weren't even here, Kimo.
He asked a question and I answered it. So how do you work that out?
I asked the question, actually.
None of you guys have been muted all week. Everyone was getting along, talking, going back and forth.
Well, that's a lie, Kimo.
Yep, that's a lie.
So who was getting muted?
By the way, Kimo,
Yeah.
But now,
By the way,
no one
Kimo,
knows when
even
to talk. Everyone's afraid, if I say something, we're going to get muted. There's no continuity, is there?
So
if you
first,
were a
I'm
rug,
looking.
what
I'm
kind of
looking at the
rug would
log
you
right
be?
now, and I'm looking at all the mutes yesterday, the day before that, the day before that, the day before that. You said there's no mutes this whole weekend yet. You have multiple mutes every day. What's going on there?
Well, there has been hot mic.
He's a
We're not
liar.
talking about that, though.
Is that what?
No, you didn't. No, I wasn't a hot mic just now, dude.
So, that has happened. Again, you wasn't here. You
Yeah.
haven't seen the continuity of
Kimo,
the
why?
flow.
Just stop lying. Just move on and do real
This is
stuff.
gross.
Just when you lie like this, it doesn't
I've
work.
just told you the reasons.
No, but you're lying.
How do you know I'm lying?
Was Drat's hot mic, or were you just getting annoyed at him?
How do you know if I'm lying or not?
Because I know you.
But you don't know me, do you?
Well, Scott, could we come back to where it got rumpus?
Go ahead,
Because
Merl, please.
I talk pretty slow, and everybody should be able to keep up with that.
I mean, it was unfair to you that happened.
Can we come back just to the first principle of what the heliocentric model claims to be?
Yes, the sun's at the center of our solar system.
Okay.
That's it. That's what the heliocentric model is. It's got nothing to do with the shape of the Earth. It's where the sun is.
And if I wanted to prove for myself that the sun is at the center of my universe, what would be the best way for me to do that?
Well, it's not at the center of the universe. First off, it's at the center of our solar system.
That's my universe, though, isn't it not?
No, that's a solar system.
So where is the center of my?
Small part.
Where is the center of my universe?
There is no your universe.
Our universe, then.
The center of our universe.
Isn't the first principle of the heliocentric model the Big Bang?
No. The heliocentric model states that the sun is at the center of our solar system. That's it. That's what the heliocentric model is, as opposed to the geocentric model that puts the Earth at the center of the solar system, which is quite obviously wrong.
In fact, yeah.
Well, I mean, not even the solar system.
That's what the heliocentric model is. That's all it is. It's not talking about the Big Bang. It's not talking about the shape of the Earth. It's talking about where the sun is in relation to our solar system.
And there is no center of our universe. It's all the center.
Well,
relative from what is being observed, from what is being observed from, relative.
I mean, I appreciate. See, this is the good thing about asking for first principles, because Farmer's Boy gave an excellent demonstration of how to have clarity on, say, a subject, like a starting point, which is something that sort of seems to happen or needs to happen in this discussion, debate, whatever you want it to be.
Well, the terms heliocentric and geocentric get bandied about when people are talking about the shape of the Earth, and they've got nothing to do with the shape of the Earth. People who believed that the Earth was at the center of the solar system still believed that the Earth was a ball. They just argued about where everything was in relation to everything else in the solar system. I mean, the clue's in the name, heliocentric. Helio being the Greek word for the sun, puts it at the center of the solar system. Geo, meaning the Earth, puts the Earth at the center of the solar system. That's all it means.
Helios also happens to be the name of a Greek sun god.
Yeah, and in Latin, it was Sol, and that's why we generally refer to the sun as opposed to any other stars as Sol. S-O-L.
Yeah, I think most of the stars and constellations and planets and all the shit is derivated from those Greek gods and shit like that.
It's
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it's a mixture of the two, isn't it? It tends to be either Greek or well, Latin as in Roman.
Yep.
Because
Mercury, Saturn, Venus, Neptune.
That means if you
all fucking Greek gods.
If you buy a telescope, therefore you are worshipping demon gods, and you should be executed.
Someone correct me on this, but solar system, our sun's name, we called our sun Sol, right? Right?
Yes.
Spanish word for the sun is Sol. S-O-L.
There you go.
Black people are filled with it.
No, the soul. What soul?
Holy
fuck. I don't care who you are. That was funny.
So for somebody born into the heliocentric model, are they allowed to...
Yep. How do you get born into that model?
You just get born, farmers.
Yeah, exactly. You just, I'll tell you what, when you're born, you have no understanding of heliocentric.
What was Merl gonna say? Yeah, what was Merl gonna ask? I'm curious.
Everybody who arrives here on Earth, there's a pre-established system in place.
For what?
For life on Earth and how to function within
Yes,
it.
depending where you're born, bro. Yes,
Leo,
absolutely.
let him fucking finish.
Yeah.
So,
I'm sorry, I thought
Merle.
he was
What were you saying before Kuntz rudely interrupted?
Shut your face, asshole. We thought he was finished.
Spiraling.
Yes.
Yep.
Go ahead, Merle. Sorry. Go ahead.
All I'm doing my best is to ascertain how can I question this model with respect without offending anybody.
Not in here.
Maybe don't misrepresent it, understand it, and don't misrepresent it. That's a good start.
Also, one good way to do that would be to not act like an asshole. You mostly actually don't do that, Merl, so that's why I like you.
Oh, well, I mean, what I'm trying to do is progress a little further than images from space.
Well, here's
and things like this.
Here's one easy one for the whole sun at the center, right? You understand that the length of the solar day varies throughout the year, right? And that's because of the fact that there's eccentricity in the Earth's orbit, which means that sometimes it's moving faster around the sun and sometimes it's moving slower. So that will change the length of the solar day. And when we are furthest from the sun has a smaller angular diameter that can be easily measured, right? It varies by 1 arc minute throughout the year, from the aphelion to perihelion, when it's at its closest and when it's at its furthest. And when the sun is at its furthest, it's at its smallest, and that's also when we are at our slowest point in our orbit. And that's when we're going to have the shortest day. And all of that corresponds to the heliocentric model, but on the heliocentric model, there's no reason why the sun varies in angular size for all observers on the Earth. There's no explanation for that in the flat Earth. There's also no explanation for why the length of the solar day varies for all observers on the Earth. For all places on the Earth, the length of the day changes from year to year. I mean, throughout the year.
Okay, I hear you, Jake. I appreciate that. What would you say to those people who trust their senses and detect no movement of the Earth with their faculties intact?
People also trust their senses into not looking across the road both sides of the road sometimes. You know,
Thank you, Jake.
Cars and trains, and you can't always trust your senses because, you know, there are people who are wrong.
Yeah, pilots kill themselves all the times by trusting their senses when they fly into clouds and then they try to navigate using their senses.
So do
human senses are completely unreliable.
Exactly. Look what
I just wanted to say, can we just do any type of construction without using any tools or devices or gadgets to be able to measure correctly, for example, or anything else? You know, we need tools and instruments to as an addition to us, because I cannot cut 13.5 foot, whatever inches of wood without measuring it and knowing, because I'm not just going to eyeball it and say like, yeah, that's 13.5 inches. So we need to know. We need tools and instruments, gadgets.
And I might add, we need optics to see those measurements, our eyes.
And Merle,
or
like
our
that
fingers
are
to feel them.
your inner ear fluid, which would detect, is what will help detect motion. Even that has its limitation on, like you just can't use your eyes, your ears, your nose, and sense of taste and smell and shit like that to determine whether or not we are moving or on our axis at 0.000694 RPMs. Like, how the fuck are you going to detect that?
Yeah, I think that's called your vestibulocochlear thing that sits in your ear. But don't we also have a thing in our nose that can detect magnetism?
I think detects changes in movement, though, dude.
What's the thing in your nose though that detects magnetism? Or in like the front of your face or something?
I don't know. You're trying to divert though. It's like saying your tongue keeps your balance.
We don't notice the motion of the Earth.
Who are we talking about here? Because that could be a thing.
I mean, I really would like to open it up to the room, but just to get a rationality focus, because it's sort of presented that the person questioning the globe is kind of retarded or insane. So just let me kind of put it out there, and then I'll shut up. Is a 66,000 mile an hour around the sun orbit? Can anybody rationally tell me that could not be detected by a human being on Earth?
Yes. You won't feel it,
Jose.
because
Correct.
there's no
Rationally, very rationally.
You don't detect a steady speed. What the body notices is changes in speed, acceleration, deceleration. It's moving at a constant speed. That's why, and we give examples of trains and airplanes. You go on an airliner that's flying at 40,000 feet at 500 miles an hour. You can get up and walk up and down the cabin. You can go down and go to the loo. You can ask them to bring you a drink and sit there and drink it quite comfortably. You don't really notice that you're doing 500 mile an hour. But when they start to slow down or speed up, you notice that.
In a closed system, sure. Good thing we're in a closed system where you can't exchange matter. Oh, wait.
Sure.
Or a pressurized system. You don't have to use the word closed. The word pressurized is all you need, and that'll work for both examples. Because it is a pressurized system.
Merle, think of it this way: we're on a circuit that is one orbit every 365 days. Converting it over to the linear speed at which the Earth is orbiting the sun makes it some big rational number that you should be able to detect.
Yeah.
But if you do it in revolutions, how many revolutions per minute or per year, it comes out to, just like I said, we're orbiting or we're revolving on our axis at 0.0006 RPMs. Well, guess what? That rotational speed comes out to like 5 zeros. It's like 0.000004 something.
And you got to remember, if they keep using miles per hour, that's a human-made measurement. We are tiny on this fucking Earth. No duh is going to be a big fucking number.
Can I say one last thing, and then I really will shut up?
Yeah, you're good, Merle.
Yeah, go for it.
What do you think would happen to a human body traveling in a vehicle of some kind at 66,000 miles an hour on the Earth?
The heat from that would be developed from our atmosphere would
if we were in a pressurized environment or just out
be
in the
vaporized long
atmosphere,
before you ever reach that.
Yeah.
It's just pretty quick speed, like just person to person, like just one real moment. Like, let's take the flat Earth, globe Earth cap off for a sec. Like, just human to human. It's pretty quick, no?
Yeah.
Yep.
But it's moving through the vacuum of space. Yes, if you try to get to a fraction of that speed here in the atmosphere, you're gonna die. I mean, there's reasons why our fastest aircraft, be they jet or rocket powered, can only reach a fraction of that 66,000 miles an hour. There's this thing called air. The faster you go, the harder it is to go through it, and the more friction there is, the more heat that's generated, etc., etc., etc. That's why you couldn't do it.
The term when you throw the vacuum of space, it gets more confusing. So when you're traveling, maybe through space, and then they can be maybe debatable.
I think most of us accept what we mean when we say the vacuum.
No,
yeah.
And when you say the vacuum of space, is what what people call the vacuum of space, which whatever it just bring another kind of worms when you phrase it like that.
I know, but only the truly pedantic and the player of silly semantic games will say, "Oh, it's not a perfect vacuum." Yeah, we know it's not, but we colloquially call it the vacuum of space as opposed to here in our atmosphere.
Well, there's also a third option is other people who talk about other things being in space, like plasma and stuff like that, don't like to hear those misappropriated terms like vacuum of space.
Might not be what they think out there, huh, Grim? Could be something totally different than what they think.
So it's just almost like a reassuring an assumption with more words of assumption. And that's how we get tangled up in these webs of assumptions.
No, we don't get tangled up. Most of us know what we mean.
Listen, I taught Xanet just the other day that the solar wind was a plasma. I don't know how he didn't know growing up and becoming the old as he is and smart as he must be in his mind and everything. He's